So that's why when I unpackaged this knife, pulled it out of its sheath, I was super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels great. I love the lines, the materials, the value is insane. And I was in full agreement with Boker's description of this blade that I'm about to save you guys from, because this is what they say on their website. I'm reading off the Boker website about the knife we're about to look at. They say the universal drop point knife is for the hunters of the one man, one rifle, one knife faction. If it must be, also everything goes with this knife, is what they say about this tool. This tool is the HL Fixed Universal Drop Point. That's the name of this blade. And the reason that I picked it up was a couple fold. With hunting season right around the corner, there's so many high-end hunting knives that cost a pretty penny. I was like, what about the average guy who just has, the economy the way it is? They just need an introductory hunting knife that could be used as just a general camp knife on the side. After the hunting trip's over, can you make a feather stick to get your fire going? And this had so many things going for it. It was like $21 is what I paid for it. The high vis, obviously, rubberized textured handle, lanyard hole. We got a drop point with a hollow grind, 440C Kydex sheath. For that price point, made by Boker, I'm like, what could go wrong, right? For like the cost of a Mora, this has got to be pretty good. Then I got it and I was like, oh man, started doing some basic utility with it, cutting some cordage, cutting some rope. I processed, I love using that word, processed a tenderloin, pork tenderloin. So I was like filleting with that hollow grind. It was like so slicey, right? 90-degree spine that threw sparks so well. I was happy with how it was making feather sticks. The Kydex sheath, that alone, that's a $20 piece right there. This is actual Kydex, holes that are in there. This is awesome. Look at this. It has a belt clip that has good retention on it, totally swivels, so I was carrying on my belt and I could like easily rotate, put it in, then pull it out. Decent retention. It's not like the best retention, but pretty good right there. You can actually push down, disconnect the clip. Now it just has a slit and then snap on. So I thought that was pretty ingenious. And I was honestly, in my initial feeling from my initial experience, a couple days of use with this, I was like, I can easily recommend this to people as a introductory hunting knife, as like a knife to throw in your fishing kit because it's 440C stainless, so it's not going to rust, holds a decent edge, hollow grind, you can clean fish with it like all day. It'd be great for that. Put in an RV, your camper, and just get it, forget it, because of the 90-degree, the drop point, the jimping on the 2 points, all that stuff. Then as I began to get into the harder stuff, because their claim is that this is kind of like one tool option in a compact, like 1/8 of an inch thick, just under 4 inch. It's like 3, maybe 3.6, 3.5, I can't remember blade length, tool. And there's a reason why I haven't unsheathed it yet, because there are 2 failure points in this design. But before I share them with you, I can tell you that there's one device that has never failed me on trail since I started using it. And regardless if you're planning your next hunting season or your next outdoor adventure, I can't recommend enough the Zoleo satellite communication device, and I'm super glad that they're today's sponsor. The reason I've been trusting this exact Zoleo device and their Iridium satellite network since the summer of 2021 on all of my outdoor adventures honestly comes down to this key feature, this SOS button. The knowledge of knowing that if I press this button and I am in an emergency situation with no cell phone coverage, I can activate that. It is going to go to Global Rescue, who has performed over 20,000 operations in over 200 countries. And I know that they are going to communicate with me through my app on my phone and be able to coordinate where I am and get to that location and help myself or the people in my party who are injured and get us out of that emergency situation. So to have that peace of mind, not only for myself, the people that I'm with, but also my wife and kids when I go out on my solo adventures, just really takes the ability to be able to explore, to be able to go on those trips with a better peace of mind for everyone involved in my family. And finally, just like you with this economy, I'm watching all of my income. What's it doing? How's it helping or detracting from my life? And the fact that this is one of the most inexpensive satellite communicators at just under $200 for the device itself. And then they have monthly plans starting at just $20 a month, which means you get high performance at excellent value. And guys, that's just scratching the surface of the capabilities of the Zoleo device. So I invite you to click on the link in the description below this video, hop on over, see all the capabilities, all the different subscription levels and versatility that this satellite communicator offers. And don't forget about my exclusive promo code, which will waive the $40 activation fee. Check out what they got going on and give yourself and your loved ones that extra peace of mind the next time you go out on your adventures. Not only did I easily snap the tip. Now, it's a very thin tip, so I was concerned. I do not treat, as you know here on the channel, many other channels, they treat their knives like crowbars, and that's fine. If you want to see that done, great. I don't feel like a knife should be used that way, but it's got to be able to stab, and what happens if there's just a little torque, right? Little side to side. So I just did a little side to side, snap, tip snaps. So very, 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 very thin tip. Okay. That alone, not the end of the world, but definitely durability. I wish it had a thicker tip. Shows that the 440C was brought to a pretty high Rockwell, meaning that the edge will be good, but the toughness is probably lacking, obviously, because the tip. So now, sadly, it just looks like a butter knife. But, okay, maybe we just know that we just don't, you just have a very fragile tip, and you may, you know, just be smart with it. The second part is with minor batoning, because it's not, you know, a large blade. I mean, so I'm doing stuff, you know, it's dowel size and a couple chunks of pine off of a stump. And I have total rocking, creaking inside the handle. The handle has loosened up for knives that, I mean, think of the Mora Basic, right? People have stepped on these and like climbed trees with these. I mean, but I have a couple of those, I've treated those things like trash and never had one loosen up on me. This thing with some very light use is all over the place, and I can see the flexing probably right around here. And you know what? Let's get a saw. Let's just see where the tang starts and stops on this. So the tang, you can see right there, it actually ends right. I can like tear it off and it would end right there. So it's basically like a 2/3, we could argue 3/4, but that means then it must like thin down because I'm just feeling all this flex and just all this like and rattle. So it just like totally failed on my model in a very sad way, because I was really initially, and again, this is why I test the blades here. I just don't do unboxings. I don't just, you know, do tabletop stuff. I use the tools and through pretty standard environments over and over again on the different tools to see what they can do. And this one, the handle loosened all up and was vibrating, and I could feel it kind of like moving around. And then an easy snap of the tip really takes it to a point, to me, where initially I was like, everyone needs to have one of these. I'm gonna buy like 3 more. Now I'm not gonna buy any more. And I wish that I hadn't bought this one, but I'm glad that I'm able to share this with you, that I would call this this is not a one knife, one man, like, you know, one gun option to me at all. It would have to at least have held up in durability on the handle and probably had a more durable tip for me to really accommodate that claim. As it stands, is it like a really light duty hunting knife that, you know, sure, like process some fish and cut some food around the campsite, maybe do like a little feather stick, sure. Do not split anything with this. Do not pound on it, and definitely don't stick it in anything. That is not what I would do with this tool, and it would just very slight modifications, just better resin grip or better like maybe holes to get it really locked in with the polymer. The ergonomics are really warm to the touch and feel great. The Kydex sheath is a great setup, but it doesn't compete with a $10 Mora outside of the grind. You know, it has a hollow grind. I mean, this $10 Mora is going to outperform it in all of those type of tasks. And so that's an awesome option, you know, any like companion or basic models. One that's not a Mora that I just want to share with you guys real quick is the Finhawk from Cold Steel. This has 4116 cryo quenched steel. You know, it's a decent steel for $25, which is what this goes for. It it's right. I like it better than 440A. It's kind of in that family. It's definitely not got the edge retention that 440C has, but this has been great. It's got a 90 on it, good ergonomics. They're just different than the Moras, lanyard hole in it, and again, very similar kind of style of polymer sheath made in Taiwan. So that's a great option, you know, if you want to kind of follow that route, if you're looking for something that's just different than just like, get another Mora, get another Mora, because that's what I was really looking for, is something that would replace a Mora because of the grind and like actually give you better lashing options that you could like unclip the clip and carry it on your pack. Like that was what was really enticing with this sheath, with the idea, and at such a budget price. But it's an extremely light knife, meaning light duty, that I wouldn't, anything that you would do with a pocket knife is basically what this can do, and I wouldn't push it past that. So it is not a universal hunting knife or camp knife to me. That's my mileage. Your mileage may vary. I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. I will have links for the other two, the Moras and the Cold Steel, for you guys below. If you own this series, if you had experiences in the past, always appreciate your guys' feedback. Appreciate you coming in, watching today. If you haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe, hit that like button, and make sure to hit that bell icon. Check out the other video popping up. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.